My name's Richard, Richard Costello. I'm delighted to be able to be speaking to you through the great medium of Zoom. And as you know, it is Parents' Week. And one of the things that we want to do during this time, in which it's quite challenging, quite difficult, and particularly being a parent, I'm sure even more so. And we want to take an opportunity to bring some creative and fun and easy and simple activities right into your home, things that you can do with your family. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you very briefly about a really fantastic hobby that you can get into. Anybody can get involved. You don't need any expertise, you don't need any previous experience, and in fact most of you have already got quite a degree of experience, because the thing I want to talk to you about is photography and the way in which you can use photography in your own home to really just have a great time, to take yourself away from some of those stresses and strains that I mentioned earlier, and to just be fun and creative and really have a great time. And the house, your home, and all the things around it provide us with great material to do photography. So stick with me. I'm going to talk very briefly about the photographic process, very simple. And then what I want you to do is to maybe take part in some of my photographic challenges. And I'll give you a couple of challenges to get us started. And then I want to see the results of what you've been doing. So take this opportunity, sit down, take a couple of minutes, and I'll talk through some of the things that we're going to do with our cameras. Okay, so obviously most of you will be aware of photography and cameras, but you might be thinking, well, do I need some special equipment to do this? And the answer is absolutely no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to some of the simplest ways in which we could take pictures. Now, in these days, I suppose most people carry a mobile phone, and as you know, your mobile phone can take pictures. And we've probably evolved in using our cameras to take pictures on our mobiles, and particularly with selfies. So for most people, actually a mobile phone is the perfect tool to be using while we try and take on our photographic challenges. You might have different types of mobile phones, but all of them take pictures, and in the technology for photographs these days, they actually take some really fabulous pictures, some really great pictures. So that's the first easiest way to think about taking your pictures, is on your mobile phone. But we have other options. So maybe you might want to use a small digital camera. Some of you might have one of these around the house. Fantastic little photographic machines, these. Some of them can be quite complicated, but again, keep it simple. What we want to do is use this idea of let's just point and click. And so our little digital cameras, they're one of the other options for us to take photographs. So if you've got a digital camera around the house, maybe you haven't used it for a while, think about taking it out, putting some batteries in, getting it charged up, and just dusting it off. Okay, so digital camera. And then of course we have, some of us might have a little tablet. And again, all of these nowadays take pictures. You can see my little lens there on the back. And it's quite simple. You open up your camera application and you just hold it up and you can see the image that you want to take and you can snap away. So most of these also take great pictures, and we can keep it very simple. We just point and click and then we immediately see the image that's in front of us. So again, if you've got one of these, this might be your preferred option. So that's another great choice. And then finally, we actually get to what is the more traditional camera. So in this case, you can see this is a digital camera. Some of you might actually have an old film camera. People don't tend to use them so much these days. But as you can see, this is a fairly big camera. It may look quite complicated, but actually it is quite simple when you get to know it. Quite a big lens on there. This is a zoom lens, so I can get in really close from a distance on my subject. So again, it's another option. Probably not advised for much younger children to use, but if you do have a nice quality digital camera, and again, if it's not getting great use, now might be the time to dust it off, get it out, charge up the batteries, and start thinking about using it. And again, we're going to keep it simple. So everything about our photography in terms of the equipment is keep it simple. So it's literally, let's point and let's click at our subject. Let's just keep our focus on the image that we want to take rather than all of the fancy buttons and all of the fancy stuff that cameras can do. But that's not the purpose. So there you have 4 very good options. Big digital camera, your tablet, and maybe a small compact digital camera. And then finally, which is the most common, is using your phone. Okay, so that's all we need. That's the only tools we need to take part in our photography challenge, to be creative, to have a bit of fun, and to do things with our family together. Okay, so go and find something that you're going to use for your digital photo challenge, and then come back and we'll think about what are the challenges that I'm going to give to you, for you and your family to use in a creative and exciting and fun way. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you've had a chance to go and find something that you can take some pictures with, because you're going to need it. That's the whole point of this process, is getting out and taking pictures. As I said to you before, taking pictures can be really just great fun. If you think about all the times that you've had pictures taken at family celebrations like birthdays or Granny's 50th, 60th, 70th, 80th birthday, things like going on holiday and all the great snaps that you've taken when you've been on holiday. So cameras and taking pictures is just a really fun way in which we can look back and remember some of the great things that we've done, and you can have a really fun time taking pictures. One of the other things about photography is that it's such a creative way of doing things. I mean, it's really just up to you. What is it that you see in your eye that you want to capture on the image, and how do you want to capture that? And of course, your creativity has absolutely no boundaries. It's really up to you to be as creative as you want to be. So take that idea of the photograph, the taking a picture gives you the opportunity to be really creative, to think and see things differently, and then to think about how you want other people to see some of your creative thinking going on. Maybe you want to take pictures, you want to get down low. You know, maybe the subject's something that's down on the ground, like a flower or an insect. Maybe you want to take pictures in slightly dark conditions and you want to give it a nice, moody kind of atmospheric feeling. Maybe you want to go outside and take pictures of the birds that are on your bird table, or maybe you've got a next door neighbour's cat or a dog, or even your own cat and dog, and you maybe want to get down at the cat and dog's eye level. So like being creative is a great opportunity in photography for you to just get those creative thinking processes going on. Okay, so simple, easy, fun, creative, everything's possible with photography. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, I'm going to give you a number of challenges, and the first challenge I'm going to give you is I want you to think about your home. I want you to think about the space that you live in. And that's not just the walls and what's inside them, but that's the walls and what's outside of them. So do you have a back garden? Do you have a balcony? Do you have some plants and flowers and trees in your back garden? So think about not just what's inside your house, but I also want you to think about what's outside your house. So the challenge for you, your first photography challenge, is my house is amazing because, and I want you to show us why your house is amazing through photographs. Okay, so let's just think about this. Let's think about some of the themes that we could maybe pull in, some of the sites that we want to show others about where we live and why we think our house is amazing. So when I think about my house, one of the things that I really love is that it's a space where I can keep all my books and all my music. So I've got loads and loads of books, and I've got loads and loads of music. And so what I am able to do in my house is a space to have shelves full of all my books and full of all my music. And if I didn't have my house, well, where would I put them? Where would they be? I wouldn't be able to sit here and pull a book off the shelf or pull a music CD off the shelf and listen to it. So my house is amazing because it's where I'm able to store all my books and all my CDs. But what else is amazing about my house? Well, I can cook. I mean, if I don't cook, I don't eat, and we all have to eat. And so I've got a fabulous kitchen, and in my kitchen I get cooking, and I'm making all these fabulous dishes, and I get to be able to sit down in my own home in warmth and in comfort, and I can enjoy the meals that I've made. And food photography is a really, really interesting area. You can take really fantastic shots of people making food. Maybe it's a really quick dish and it happens very quickly and you've got to be very quick with the camera. Maybe it's a bit slower, you've got some time. You can think about composing your images. So there's loads of options when it comes to making great photographs that says something about the food that gets cooked in your house, and maybe as well the people that are cooking that food. So some really great creative opportunities in food photography, very popular area. What else is amazing about my house? Well, I have a fairly small back garden, but because of where I am, I'm quite close to a golf course. And the golf course, particularly at night time when everybody's gone home and there's nobody golfing, it brings out all the foxes, and it brings out the squirrels, and it brings out the badgers. And so because I'm close to the golf course, sometimes they wander into my garden. And so it's a great opportunity for me to be able to go out with the camera, or maybe from the back window because I don't want to scare them off, and I can see the foxes, and I can see the squirrels, and I can see all the birds that come into my garden. So it's amazing because my house is a window into nature that's around me. And so it gives me a great opportunity to take photos. And maybe you're in the same position. Maybe you've got an incredible view from your window. Maybe you can see a mountain. Maybe you can see a lake. Maybe actually you've got a view over the city and see all the buildings, and particularly at night when the lights come on, that's a really another great area for photography, night photography. So what might be amazing about your house? Well, you need to think. You need to go around and have a look. I mean, do you have some walls where there's kind of funny wallpaper with crazy patterns on? And maybe you think, do you know what? That is kind of crazy. And when you put that into an image, it comes up as a really stunning, great, beautiful image about just the wallpaper on your wall. And maybe that's why you love your house, because it's got a quirky, decorative, funny way of being, you know, the space in which you live in. What else? Well, how about the fact that there's colours and patterns everywhere? Carpets, tiles. Is the carpet in the living room different from the carpet in the hallway? Are the carpets in the bedrooms different colours, or do they match? Even in the kitchen, do you have tiles? Have you got a nice crazy pattern on the kitchen floor? So our house is full of colours and patterns, and that can make it a really amazing space to be in. What about the people that live with us? I mean, our homes are where we live together, and the people that we live with can be amazing people who do amazing things. And so maybe one of the reasons why you think your house is amazing is because of the amazing people that live there. Maybe you want to take a picture of your brother or sister. Maybe you want to take a picture of your mum and dad because they're amazing people. And without them in your home and in your house, it wouldn't be such an amazing place. So think about, who do I live with? And why are they amazing? And, you know, do I want to get a nice picture of them doing something? You know, is your dad into a particular hobby and you want to get a picture of him doing something that involves his hobby? Does your brother or sister sleep a lot and they're always kind of snoozing and you want to capture that? So think about the people that live in your house, but also think about the people that live outside of your house. So have you got great neighbours? Are some of your best friends living next door or a couple of doors away from you? Is it possible for you to be able to get a shot of them across your garden fence or across the street? What makes your home amazing is also the people that live around you. So there's another way of thinking creatively about telling us why your home is amazing. It's because there are people in that home and there are people around that home. So let's think a little bit about capturing those people. What else? Well, I don't know about you, but I actually think one of the best things about my house is that it protects me from the weather. So when it's too hot outside, I can come inside and I can cool down. When it's cold outside, I can come inside and I can warm up. When it's rainy, I can get out of the rain and stay dry. But our windows are a great opportunity to look out into the world. What is outside of our houses? So maybe it's the weather. Maybe on particular days when it's raining and you can't go anywhere, you actually like that. You can kind of find a space, you get on the sofa, you might pull up your blanket, you might be playing games on your phone, you might be reading, you might be doing some homework. But our houses keep us safe and warm. And the elements that are out there can give us really great subjects to photograph. So maybe think a little bit about the windows. So the windows in my home, what do they let me see? Okay, so think creatively about that. Now, I said something earlier about how our houses are where we live with other people, but who else lives in your house? Have you got a pet? Have you got a dog? Have you got a cat? Have you got a gerbil? Maybe you keep a snake, or maybe you keep a tortoise. Maybe you've got a rabbit and a hutch in the back garden. But also think about those little smaller insects that come in, particularly this time of year because it's cold outside and they want to be inside. They want to be warm like you. And so at this time of year, we see lots of creepy crawlies and spiders, and they can't do us any harm, but they're in our house. They're sharing our space. And so maybe you want to take a photograph really close up. You want to get down on that eye level with those spiders, with those creepy crawlies, and get a picture of some of the other things that share that space with you, that share your home, that make it amazing. So there's lots of ideas there. And what I want you to do is take your camera and I want you to start picturing why your house is amazing. And I want you to share that with us. So how are we going to do that? Okay. So here's your challenge. You can take as many pictures as you like, take lots and lots of pictures, but you only have 10 minutes to do that. Okay, so this is a time challenge. We've got to be quick, and we've got to be thinking on our feet, and we've got to be running around the space, and we've got to be grabbing as many pictures as we can, because we've only got 10 minutes to do that. And so when your 10 minutes is up and you've taken all your photographs, what I want you to do then is look at all of those images that you've taken, and I want you to pick your 10 best pictures. So all the pictures that you've taken, I only want you to pick 10. And they're the 10 pictures that tell us why your house and home is amazing. Okay? And then you're going to send those pictures to us. And we're going to create this beautiful collage of everybody's images, and we're going to find a way of sharing and displaying this. Okay? So, a couple of rules. One is that you can only send me 10 pictures. You can take as many pictures as you like, but you can only do it in 10 minutes time. And then there's one last final rule. This is very important, okay? No selfies, okay? No selfies. We take selfies lots of times, all the time, okay? But this is about being a bit more creative, about flipping the camera to look outwards and not look inwards. Now, if you want to take pictures of family and friends, that's perfect. And if you want to take pictures of you with family and friends, that's perfect. But we don't want selfies of just you and your big, beautiful smile, okay? This is a different kind of creativity. It's a different way of thinking about taking photographs. So, there you go. We will have 10 pictures taken in 10 minutes with no selfies, and all those pictures tell other people about why our home is amazing and an amazing place to be. Okay, so that's your challenge for this week. And then what we'll do is we'll set up another challenge for you and your camera to be creative in week 2. Okay, so good luck. Take lots of pictures, and I'm sure you're all going to be really creative and I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun, and we really just can't wait to see what you've done with your images. So get snapping. Bye.